prolonged layoff, you're now starting back into serious training. How long do you think it will take you to get back into peak shape, and what will your routine or routines be, including the cycle from intensity to days per week, exercises, sets, and reps be?
Well, that's an interesting question, John. I just started back training on February 25th at Gold's Gym on a typical heavy-duty routine. It's going to be a 4-day-a-week split. As it started out, it's going to be Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then I'll take a break.
Okay.
It's 4 days split, 4 days out of every 7 days. But as I progress and build muscle mass and my work capacity increases, I'll cut back to 4 days out of every 9 or 10 days because the likelihood of overtraining increases as you get bigger and stronger. In my first workout, I trained my chest, shoulders, and triceps using pre-exhaustion, about 4 to 6 sets of body parts.
Mm-hmm. And you'll be what sort of exercise would you be doing?
Well, for instance, on Sunday I did pecs, cable flies, cable crossovers for pecs, and incline presses. For delts, I did nautilus laterals and bent over laterals. For triceps, I did tricep press down and tricep extensions on nautilus. Then yesterday for back, I did nautilus behind the neck torso, followed by close grip underhand pull downs, followed by 2 sets of rows. After lats, I did traps, shrugs, followed by upright rows. After back was over, I did my biceps. My biceps, I did nautilus curls exclusively. After arms, I went to legs, and I did leg extensions, followed by leg press and leg curls.
When you were training, I guess back in the 70s, you were using some pretty monster weights on virtually every exercise, but I'm thinking leg press specifically. You had about 1,200 pounds or something.
Yeah, I got 1,200 pounds.
Will you be including aerobics in your training, or?
Not right now. So later on down the line, in the next month or two, I'll incorporate some bicycle riding perhaps to increase my daily activity quotient, continue burning calories as I lose fat.
Yeah. Okay. I was wondering if you could prescribe a routine for our intermediate bodybuilding readers.
Well, the routine that I just outlined for myself is good for intermediates.
Mm-hmm.
Incorporating pre-exhaustion, training to failure, force reps. I would just suggest that no matter what method you use, you don't do more than 4 to 6 sets of body part. Use very good form, strict form, train to failure, use force reps occasionally, and don't overtrain. If the formula that Arthur Jones advocated was train intensely, briefly, and infrequently, that is not too frequently, so that you don't exceed your body's ability to overcome the exhaustive effects of exercise, and that you have enough recovery ability left over for growth.
Mike, although you are now retired, describe, say, your typical training program prior to, say, a competition. What do you put yourself through?
Well, I would start approximately 12 weeks before the contest, depending upon my condition. And each one of the weeks leading up to the contest, the training would become actually briefer and more intense. And probably the last week before the show, believe it or not, I wouldn't train at all. I would rest up, try to get myself together mentally, lay in the sun, go over my posing routine and so forth.
Look at that picture.
Excuse me, Mike.
Yeah, that was taken a few years ago, I must say.
But you can see the dedication that would take to look like that. I mean, that's hours and hours and hours of training there.
How many years was that to get to that point?
Well, that was 11 years ago, a photograph taken right before the 1980 Mr. Olympia contest, and I had been training at that point for about 15 years, off and on, but for about 7 years straight through right before that.
That's incredible.
But an important point, Anthony, I did not train for hours and hours every day, and this is an important issue.
Oh, okay.
Contrary to what most bodybuilders do, which is train 2 to 4 hours a day, 7 days a week, to obtain that condition, I trained literally for 30 minutes 4 times a week, 2 hours a week.
Yeah, because the theory that you always hear is that it does require hours and hours to look
Well,
like that.
The mistaken premise there is that more is better.
Uh-huh.
And the body doesn't necessarily work that way. If 2 hours or 4 hours a day were good, well, why not train 12 hours a day? Training is a form of stress, and up to a certain point in time, exposing the body to stress can be beneficial. But beyond a definite period of time, it can actually be detrimental.